All right, we're back for a Christmas Eve special for the Rehashables. Just saw Avatar, Fire, and Ash. Fired up to talk about it with you, pal.
Yeah, look at us getting some things done. And this movie, we were talking about it a few weeks ago, and it was getting kind of all kinds of hype. Yeah, I'm glad to be able to doing this on the week of Christmas.
I do feel like this movie, we'll get into our thoughts of it. I do feel like this movie is like a movie theater experience, so I'm glad I got a chance to see it in IMAX 3D. You obviously didn't get a chance to see it in IMAX. Did you see it in 3D?
Oh, I did see an IMAX 3D.
Oh,
IMAX,
you did?
the AMC Methuen has IMAX. So I saw it in
Oh,
IMAX 3D last night. So yeah, the glasses on, full IMAX experience too. So
was the movie theater full?
it was pretty packed. For a 6 p.m.
Same.
showing, it was pretty packed.
I went at
That was great.
1:30 and it was very full.
Yeah, it was great to see. And I say this every time. Movie theaters are the best. Like every time I'm in a movie theater, it's just so much better than it used to be. And we had a 3 hours and 17 minutes, oh, more than that, probably 3 hours and 45 minutes with the trailers. It flew by. So
Definitely. All right, so we have all our awards that we're going to run through, and it's going to give us plenty of different things to talk about. But just like, what were your general thoughts on the movie, leaving the movie theater, and now here we are a day later?
leaving the movie theater, I was so fired up. Like I really loved my time in the movie. I wasn't bored at all. Again, 3 hours and 17-minute runtime of this movie with glasses on. I don't know about you, like even with the glasses, like it took a minute or so for the little blurry and like eyes adjust, I feel, and then after that I forgot I was even wearing them. You know what I mean? But I was fired up during the movie, watching the action sequences and just we'll get to the awards and that kind of thing. Just blew my mind, and I was entertained the entire time at the movie.
Yeah, totally.
What about you?
I really enjoyed it. I'll say I really enjoyed it, like in the moment. The action sequences, the effects are like world class, like best movie that you could probably ever imagine when it comes to that sort of stuff. I thought the 3D was great, glasses were fine. I had some concerns about the story and just like where this one fits in out of all three Avatar movies, which we'll get to. But dude, I'm freaking pumped to see it. I would honestly even consider going to see it again, which I wouldn't say about many movies, just because of all the movies that we ever see. I really do think any Avatar movie is something that should be seen in the theaters. So I did love that aspect of it.
That says a lot. So is it like the movie? So would it be like, oh, I want to see it again, but I would see it again in a movie theater? Or are you like, I can't wait till it even comes out on streaming and I'll watch it at home? Or do you think it has to be like in the theater?
No, I would, if I was going to see it again soon, like in the next 6 months, it would be in the movie theaters. Like that's, I would want to be able to sit down with the glasses on, the 3D, the IMAX, the sound, and just experience that from that point of view. Maybe, or maybe not, I'll watch it on streaming when it comes out. And it took me a while to watch White Water again when that was streaming on Disney Plus. So I would expect it to be the same for this. I'm not going to rush out and watch it as soon as it's available, but I would consider going to see it at the movie theaters. If someone was like, hey, I want to see Avatar, I heard it was good, hadn't seen it yet, you want to come? Yeah, maybe, if it worked out. I'd check it out, which is more than other movies. There's not a lot of other movies I'm dying to go see a second time at a movie theater.
There are times where we're watching the movie and I'm like, how in the hell I don't understand how it was filmed, like how he did it. The world building of Pandora is very interesting and fascinating to me. And one of the things we could talk about, but like I'm very curious in other tribes, other parts of the planet. All that kind of stuff is very fascinating to me. And you, fresh off of Disney from a month ago, I still have never visited like Pandora at Animal Kingdom. And that ride is like incredible, right? That world, is that like the equivalent of Harry Potter world at Universal, or not quite as immersive?
I bet you Harry Potter's probably a little bit like better, and that area is probably a little bit better from a world building point of view, just because those are real places. When you're on Pandora inside Animal Kingdom, it feels pretty remarkable, different from every other aspect of it. But it just feels so different. Like when you're you're looking at Hogwarts, or I imagine Diagon Alley, or Ministry of Magic, or these places they've created in the theme park is probably a little bit more immersive. But don't get me wrong, Pandora inside of Disney World and Animal Kingdom, and then that ride that you're talking about, it's called Flight of Passage, all awesome. And it made me think, as I've been reflecting on the movie, are we going to see a 4 and 5? I don't know how the hell we would not see a 4 and 5 of Avatar, given like what they've invested into the theme parks and what Avatar is, and the fact that these are $1 billion, $2 billion movies. Like, how could we not see sequels? Coming off that trip, like Avatar is a thing for Disney, I think.
And absolutely, especially it fits perfectly with the Animal Kingdom. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that theming. And the movie did well, right? This weekend, like I don't think it did as well as Way of the Water, but it did well globally.
I think it came back below expectations,
Okay.
slightly. For what it's worth, these movies have always been hard to peg from that point of view. Avatar, the first one, opened up very small and then went on for 2 or 3 months of being the number one movie, and then obviously had $2.9 billion. Avatar 2 was much bigger. This one was like $88 million domestically and $345 million globally. I think the 345 was maybe on track in the range that they thought it would be, but the 88 was a little bit less in the United States.
Right.
So I think they were thinking like above 100. So a little bit small from that point of view, but it is the holidays, man, and people don't necessarily rush out to see these movies. So I expect this to be a big week and next week to be a big week for it, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But again, it's a movie you have to see in the theaters. And even Mom, I was talking to Mom about it yesterday. She's we got to go see that. She doesn't say that about many movies.
No, she's like, when was the last time she went to a movie theater? And she said the same thing to me. They're going this week to go see it. So,
yeah, so that is always a sign of it being a bigger movie than most.
And I don't know, we'll maybe get into it a little bit now, the overview. But so you're like not lukewarm on it. You thought it was very good. I think we're both very similar with it.
Yeah.
I was surprised, and this is coming from me who literally just saw The Way of the Water 10 days ago, how similar it was.
That's the part that bothers me. Honestly, if I'm being like completely honest, we should get into all the awards soon. But dude, anyone that says it was like Way of the Water 2.5, it's hard to argue with that, dude. Like honestly, the last battle scene very much felt like that could have been. They could have cut and inserted the Way of Water last battle scene, and it will. I would have been like, that looks new to me. But yeah, so that part was strange, and I'll save some other criticisms for as we go. But yeah, very similar.
It followed the same exact tropes. Like that battle is like crazy. It's the same exact battle.
The boats, the whales jumping out of the water, landing on the boats, going on a sinking ship. There are aspects that are different, but yeah, dude. Like I have to think that James Cameron, and he's filming this, this is obviously the same exact thing as last movie. Like, how do you let that in that way? So that part was surprising for me.
The weird thing is, though, I'm sure you've heard this was supposed to be one movie. Yeah. 2 and 3 were one script, which that doesn't even make sense to me because that's 7 hours basically worth of a movie. And what did they edit out? It's like literally followed. If that was all one script, that's like crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two battles.
But at this point, I'm feeling like I sound very negative on it. But again, loved it. Like, again, I'd go see it again. And I listened to a lot of stuff about movies and Avatar and pop culture. And I'm just fresh off the Joe and Mal podcast. Have you listened to that at all?
A little bit of it. I know Mal just doesn't like Avatar.
You know what I mean? Joe doesn't like Mal.
Joe doesn't like Avatar, yeah.
So I have those criticisms in the back of my head, and I feel like it's like clouding the way that I talk about it. And even Mal was, I go see Avatar for the experience of Pandora, and then I walk away and I don't remember anything after. And that's something people continue to say. And I don't know. It's like I want a James Cameron movie that is the biggest series of movies in history to have more cultural impact.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the cool kids say that it doesn't have that, but does it? I don't know. I don't know where I land on it.
Like I land on this again. Same thing. Had an incredible time. Just truthfully, I will probably never watch it again. Again, it's not like bad. It's not like bashing it. It's not horrible. Because I did love it. I loved my time there. I really enjoyed it. But like the 3 hours and 17 minutes of it, and we could talk about like where it ranks with the other three and that sort of stuff. Like it was good. Like I still couldn't, without looking at IMDb, truthfully, could not name anybody besides like Jake Sully and Neytiri. I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I couldn't, even the colonel guy or whatever is like Quidditch or something like Quidditch. Like that's a problem. You know what I mean?
That is a huge problem. Like when you can, and I can name the characters because I've been doing a little bit of research on this to be prepared for the pod, and I have a list of character names that I can reference as we're talking. But yeah, dude, like Loak, the son, who seems to be like a big part of the movie, who will be probably a big part of future movies. That's like not a name that rolls off the tongue. It's not a name most people would know about. And yeah, like even Neytiri, like you said, that's not and I get it. Like those names, are supposed to sound native to Pandora, and I get it. But that is something that's tough to overcome.
Again, had an awesome time. Loved it. You know what I mean? It was so good at times. But it's just a thing where it's, it was great. It don't have the staying power of Star Wars or even Marvel, even though that's fallen off for me too.
Yeah, I try to think of Star Wars as I'm watching this. it never could have the same staying power as Star Wars, because Star Wars was such a new thing when it came out, and it was just like not a lot of stuff like this. And as different as Avatar is compared to many movies, there are plenty of sci-fi worlds out there at this point. So it's really like hard to start a new one that has such cultural resonance that Star Wars does. But James Cameron's certainly given it his best bet and has created this rich culture, and there's depth and stories to be told in that universe. So
which we can get to.
For me, I wish that it was more. I'm not like Star Wars has dropped off of me for me over the years. It's almost like I want something to take its place.
Me, ever since Andor, I still think was just like so great. But anyway, we'll probably dive in.
Okay, let's do it. Want to jump into the categories?
Yep, let's jump in.
Okay. So, first one we got Hill Valley Clock Tower Award, Best Scene or Sequence in the Movie. Got a couple honorable mentions, and then I'll have my winner. So, do you want to start?
Me too. Yeah, me too. So, scene stealing. It's actually towards the beginning of the movie.
No, this isn't scene stealing.
No, sorry. This is the best scene, or whatever, what we think.
Best scene or sequence.
Exactly. Best. I'm going to start at the beginning of the movie when the kids are like on their whales, and they're just like jumping out of the water. Just how that looked. I sat there with my mouth like wide open, and they're like hanging onto the fins, and the whales are going in every droplet of water, and they're like jumping off the whale into the water. And I'm like, how the hell is this fake? This looks so good. And I was just so beautiful. I want to be here. I want to be swimming with these people. It looked so cool. And I just really set the tone for me as one of my favorite scenes, honestly, of the movie.
Pretty remarkable. There was one other time later on, I forget because it all blends in a little bit, but there was a time where there was some like trickling water in a stream, and I was just like, this isn't real right now. This is somehow fake. And it was just like the water effects they have on all those scenes are pretty remarkable.
Because like all the cutaways, and it's just insane. It's so immersive how he does it. It's so realistic that I just wanted to throw that up there. And I think it was intentionally at the beginning of the movie, where it was just James Cameron just freaking being like, this is what I can do. You know what I mean? And it's so good. So I wanted to throw that in there.
Yep. Love it. So honorable mention for me is that final battle scene, despite the fact that it very much felt like it was a rehash from Way of Water. I did think it was fun to watch. It's fun to watch those people fight, the things to fly around, the RDA, which is the like that military, like the human people. Like it was enjoyable. Definitely want to leave it on the honorable mentions level, not get too far into it, but for me, it was like one of the better sequences, obviously.
But I mean, there was like an hour of that. So are you talking like the water stuff? Yeah. Are you talking the fire stuff at the end? Like what part?
Okay, so good point. I think of it more as the first half of the final battle scene where we're in the water. It's the whales again, the whales jumping out, the boats out there, all that stuff. That was enjoyable. I probably could break it down into that second half, which was actually a little bit more unique and enjoyable in a different way.
So it's a good segue into mine, because that was actually on mine. That first half, again, incredible, like beautiful, and the whales coming in and like all that kind of stuff. I was literally like, this is Way of the Water. I literally just watched this 10 days ago. But I thought the fire that with the fight between Sully and the Colonel thing at the end when and Spider was there and he was trying to get the bow and arrow and they're falling down. I thought that was a really cool.
Yeah, when they had that magnetic storm that was going on that was lifting up all like the metal stuff. That was unique. It didn't hit for me as much as I would have hoped, because I think that first half of it, I was just like, it's Way of Water again, and maybe it was in my head a little bit, and it might have taken a little bit away from my enjoyment, but if I pull that out of things, that was a very unique scene. It looked unique. It was different from previous movies, and that part was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that kind of was I have one other honorable mention and then my winner, which I'm curious.
So I'll do honorable mention for me. One of the best scenes that I thought was the Neytiri and Jake Sully had decided that they were going to kill Spider.
Yeah. And
I don't know if this is anything for you, but they pulled him aside. Jake was going to go kill him in the woods. And it just was, of all the parts of the movie, like that was probably the most moving part to me. I was like, oh my God, they're going to really freaking kill this kid. For a split second, I thought, you know what, maybe they would kill this kid. It would just be such a moving thing. And then obviously Neytiri starts running and they stop from doing it. But I thought it was a cool scene.
I thought that was a very cool scene, a very emotional scene. Not for 1 second did I think they were going to kill Spider.
Yeah.
I'm like, Disney would never let this happen. Yeah. I'm like, so to me, yeah, that's funny. All right, okay, we'll talk about it a little bit more later.
Okay. All
Okay.
right, sounds good. Sounds like this is something you would have wanted to cut, but I did enjoy
But yeah.
that.
But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I thought that another scene when Natari was dressed as the Ash people and just went full Rambo mode
Yep.
on the base.
Yep.
Awesome. She's so badass. And Zoe Saldana, I absolutely love her. That whole sequence of her just doing that, I thought was incredible, and I could follow her around anywhere. She's so badass.
So I'm going to be interested to hear who your winner is in this category because that scene was my best scene or sequence winner. And the reason is because of you look at the whole movie as a whole. That one sequence was where I really felt like things were different. It just felt different. It felt industrial. It felt human. There was the parading Jake Sully in and all the people taking pictures of him. And he's like a spectacle in his cage in front of everybody. And then obviously Neytiri comes and the battle scene and the escape kind of ensues. But like I did very much enjoy that piece of the movie for whatever reason.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, no, I thought that stuff was very cool as well. My winner was actually when the Ash people first, not Ash people, but the Ash tribe shows up with the flying trade when they were in the flying things and the Ash people first show up. I thought that was the best fight sequence movie. I thought that it was first introducing to you to the main woman bad protagonist person. Yeah, so I thought she was so badass. I just thought the trading people and like those weird flying blob whale things were cool. Yeah. And then when they like crashed and Natari got stabbed, and I thought that whole sequence was my favorite sequence of the movie. And it probably came 45
and that was early on.
It was a good introduction to them. These people I keep calling them people, but like these Na'vi or whatever, they look different. She was awesome and captivating. Seems like a great bad guy. I thought that was just a really great scene.
Yep. Yeah, and you can call them like the Ash people. They have a name, but I won't bore you with the specifics. Yeah. But yeah, dude, they were great. I love the look of those people, and they were a great addition. At last, in Way of Water, they had the water people, and they were more of like a greenish color to them, but you could tell that they were different with the way they had like fins on their arms and stuff. And then the Ash people look a lot different, and their backstory is pretty cool too, which we can get to. So I like that. That's a good winner for that award.
Yeah.
Next one, Bill Pullman Independence Day Speech Award, Best One-Liner or Speech. I don't believe there were any good speeches. There was a time where Jake Sully could have had a good speech when he was uniting all the clans towards the end, but they yada that, cut scenes, and he didn't have any specifically good lines to say. But there was a couple lines I think that could be worth discussing.
They yada it because he literally did the same thing in like a week before or whatever. Like a year before.
Yada the first half of the last battle then too, because dude, totally, yeah, I agree, 100%.
That was it. I guess what your boy Loak's speech to the whales. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna butcher all of it. But that guy, like their speech, I thought the Colonel's speech to the Fire Lady was like a cool. And he was like, "I could kill you, or don't make a move on me again." Like when he first was, that thing was really cool. But you're right. I don't think there was I don't have a really great speech or one-liner in this category.
So a couple lines that come out, and they're not like one-liner, like joke scenarios, but when Quaritch was showing Varang how to use the gun, she kept saying, "Show me how to make thunder." And I thought that was kind of like memorable to me because she repeated it twice, and just the idea of this Na'vi doesn't know how to use these guns. They really don't know what they are, apparently. And saying thunder is something that I guess could make sense to describe what it's like when you hear the sound of a gun. So that kind of stuck with me. And then at a different time, I forget who she was talking to. She said something. She said, "Your goddess has no dominion here." So it just spoke to how the Ash people don't view. I think is it Yahweh? Yeah,
Yahweh.
Iwa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Iwa, the same way that the Na'vi do, where there's like the worship of her, for lack of a better term. Like to her, to Varang, it's your goddess has no dominion here. No one cares about that here.
Yeah, those are awesome. Those are better than I don't have a specific line. I was thinking more of speeches. The only other one that kind of really just hit home for me was when Neytiri said Spider had to go. And like her and Jake really had that really good. She was like talking about all the reasons and that kind of stuff. Like I hate them. I hate their pink hands. I hate everything about them or whatever. And kept calling them the pink people. And I just thought that acting and her emotion, because she was so heartbroken that her son died at the hands of them, was really good. So
I remember that. Very well. That was definitely great.
Yeah, so don't. I like your lines better. So you definitely brought more there.
Those stuck with me. Again, nothing crazy. It's not like I'll be talking about those one lines years from now, but a couple things that kind of came to mind as we're prepping for the pod. So next thing, this will be funny to see what you think, but the Jar Jar Binks Award, the character, scene, or subplot that you'd toss. And I have an honorable mention and a winner. What do you have?
Yeah, me too. Honorable mention and a winner. My honorable mention was actually the killing spider scene. I thought, which I know you said.
Ooh, yeah, no. So, dude, that's totally fine.
Just
Hey,
because, I guess the only thing that I think really came out of it was he like called Jake dad, and there was like that emotional element to it, but there was no way like he was dying. There was no when Jake made that point. I'm like, Disney would never do this.
Kill the kid. I think Spider said something like, "Do you love me?" or something like that. And he's with all my heart, and he was really struggling. I thought it was good.
You're right. I completely agree with that. I wish there was a different way they could have done that. And I'm thinking of something else now while we're talking about it too, because I think that scene again could have. It's 3 hour and 17-minute movie. I think they could have found other ways to make that happen, especially after Spider literally just saved Jake. You know what I mean? Like literally just saved him. So a pretty ruthless move. Was like when Jake's son, again, your guy Loak or whatever, when he like was gonna kill himself, and like that other thing was like that's never gonna happen. Again.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure,
like that.
For sure.
But so that could have been tightened up a little bit. So anyway, go ahead. You
honorable mention for me. So there's a guy by the name of Scoresby. He's the guy with one arm. He lost his arm in the first. Not the first one, the first sequel, The Way of Water. Do you remember that one I'm talking about? He had the fake arm.
Guy didn't learn his lesson or change at all.
I just didn't love that guy. And I don't know that I would want to toss his whole subplot out because he had a lot to do with the whales and getting the whale juice, brain juice, and all that stuff. And it was a big part of the back half of the movie in that last fight. So I don't know if you can get rid of it, but I don't love that guy. You know what I mean? I wish he would have died in a worse way than he died.
He died in a pretty bad way. So that's saying a lot. He got dragged down to the bottom of the ocean or whatever from a whale. So it's pretty
great. But like he kind of had that in common. So
he was just like ruthless and a real jerk. And
no way about him though. Like, I just had a way about him that was annoying.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So you want to think he could go, or that?
Yeah, he could go. He's a character for me that I could do without him.
Yes, like the army, like I'm sure, like the army. So they really wanted to get that stuff from the whale brain or whatever, and that stuff again. They didn't say it in this movie, but in Way of the Water, that stuff could make you live forever or something like that.
Yeah.
Why it's so valuable.
Yeah, they showed one time where they were pulling it into a vial or a test tube or something.
The yellow stuff.
But they didn't get into some of those mechanics.
They addressed it more in the second movie and stuff too.
Yeah.
All right. So can we, now, what's that?
Do you not have a winner, or is this your winner?
I have a winner. Okay. Let's talk about now. It's time to talk about Carrie a little bit.
Okay.
So I love the character
as well. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
I did not realize this in the second movie. And I don't know what it was, or maybe it was just because of me watching it at home or that kind of stuff. I did not realize that Sigourney Weaver voiced her somehow in the second movie.
I did not know that either. I knew it was her likeness and her daughter. Yeah. I didn't realize also voiced her, which is...
In this movie, I could hear it so much, and it took me out of it every time she spoke. And I don't know, like, it was like after she had that, like, first seizure in this movie, I feel like, I don't know if her voice changed or whatever, they made it, but I could hear Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney Weaver is 70 years old.
76, I believe.
Okay, so she's 76 years old and is playing as like a teenager, and it took me out of it so much. So I don't know how they changed that, or if that's part of it, if even using that the right way, but they kept going back to her going to see Mother sequence and stuff too many times. I feel like, and again, that was exactly what they did in the second movie. So I felt like they could have done that a little bit better.
I will say, I personally liked the time they went to go see Awa, and then Spider joined, and then the littlest girl joined.
Loved that part. That was so Guardians of the Galaxy. Absolutely loved that part of the movie.
I actually was hoping for it to end in a better way. Like have a better
face.
What?
You just like the big face, the big head.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't love that. I just didn't hit emotionally. Like the emotional part was like Spider joining, then the littlest girl joining and walking, and they got through, and it was just like okay. But I did enjoy that part for a second.
I love that part. Actually, almost was on my list for Hill Valley. I loved that part. Then when they got to the mom's face, the mother, that was like very 2001: A Space Odyssey, like baby in the sky, kind of looked like it just didn't look. And then the mother like looked away and that kind of thing. And then all hell broke loose afterwards. But I did like that sequence. The Sigourney Weaver thing was just really an interesting decision by everybody involved to have her voice. Because she's a clone. It's not even her daughter. It's a clone.
It's a clone-ish of her. Yeah. Yeah, but she refers to, I'm a clone, but I didn't get the impression that she actually was a clone. It seemed like an immaculate conception scenario with Sigourney Weaver's Na'vi avatar and Awa or whatever to produce Kiri.
But she literally says, I'm a clone.
She does say that, but then I also don't think that's the reality of what she is. I don't think she's purely a clone. I think there's more to it than that. Although, she does say that. So, but based on things that I've read.
I really like her. I like her power thing, her as a character a lot. I was just like, man, when I could hear Sigourney Weaver, I'm just like, this is just so strange. But anyway, yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What did you think Kiri's relationship was to Sigourney Weaver's character? That wasn't news to me that she was like a clone or like immaculately conceived or whatever. I thought that was just what it was from last time. Like, was this like a revelation or was this not a revelation?
The second movie, they were trying to she was trying to figure out who her dad was. Or whatever. And knew Sigourney Weaver was her mom and knew all that kind of stuff, but didn't know this. And this one with the scientists and that sort of stuff, they said that she was a clone or whatever, basically. Like, somehow, like, her DNA went into and got pregnant and when she was laying down. I don't know. Because it was when she like gave birth to her, not when she was alive. It was like when she was like in that chamber.
She definitely didn't die pregnant. So I don't understand the mechanics of that piece.
So I think when they put her down in the first one, something must have happened. Because remember they put Sigourney, that was like a ritual when she died. Remember at the tree?
Yeah.
Whatever. So something must have happened there. But again, I don't know the answer.
So I just didn't see a huge revelation. It wasn't like, oh my God, she was a clone. Like obviously something weird freaking happened. Like it just wasn't like a huge reveal for me.
It didn't hit. It definitely didn't hit in that part. So they got to tighten up that character a little bit and find another more age-appropriate voiceover actor.
Can I share my award then?
Yep.
Because it's tied to Kiri, but the thing that I would toss is the Kiri Spider relationship, whatever is going on there. The kissing scenario and the falling in love kind of aspect of things I thought was strange considering they've been raised as brother-sister. Did that ever strike you at any time, or am I weird for even thinking that was weird?
Because to me, it didn't, because they were like that in the second one too, and maybe again because I've seen it so much, never ever looked at it more as brother sister, always more flirting. And I felt like in the second one they were flirting very much. So maybe again because I saw it so quickly, never looked at that as like a weird brother sister relationship. I
guess that you're tuned in better to that stuff than me, but I just thought that they were all part of the Sully family. And they were raised as brother or sister-ish. So to me, like, how wouldn't they be raised as brother? Like, Spider considers Jake Sully and Neytiri like parents, and so doesn't she. So I don't know. Like, at the very least, like each one of them considers Neytiri and Jake their parents.
Yeah.
So, like, how wouldn't they consider themselves also like brother sister? I don't know. Anyways, to me, I thought that was strange. In the moment, I still think it's strange.
Okay, I think one strange aspect of it is, do you think Sigourney Weaver and Spider kissed in like the making of the movie?
Hey, Joe and Mal brought this up in the podcast. I don't know. That would be very weird if they did. That's for sure. And the guy that plays Spider's 21 years old, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, she's 76. They brought into question whether or not she was CGI movement for Kiri, if they had a body double for that as well. I don't know how all that works, but yeah, no, dude, fair point. Yeah. But I thought that was strange. And I would actually toss that because I don't think there wasn't another time in the movie that I really thought that outside of them like kissing that time, like I'd never think of them as like a thing. They could have done without that and the movie would have been no different in my opinion.
Do you think Loak, am I saying his name right? Loak, your guy, the water lady, like they're a couple, right? They were together, right? The daughter of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, okay, interesting.
But that's normal.
That makes
That's
obviously that makes way more sense. Yeah, I mean, just incestual, like James Cameron, just like getting it done.
and apparently you think it's totally cool, so that's cool. I guess that's how.
I'm a big Game of Thrones guy. You are out on Game of Thrones, so I guess that's why.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what's the fire lady?
Varang.
Yeah, lady Rob Stark's wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's what I heard for sure.
Good for her. She did incredible. We haven't talked about her enough yet, but she's incredible.
But how about this? Let's move on to the next award.
Okay,
then.
go ahead.
So the next award is Han Solo Award for a scene-stealing character.
I thought that Rocky, or was that
What's that?
Rocky fighting in Russia? But it's cool.
We just did that. Sorry, I guess I didn't say it at the time. It was Rocky's fighting on Christmas for no money in Russia War. That's the plot hole. Oh, actually, we didn't do that yet. We just did that.
I don't think we did.
So actually, let's get back to that one then. Let's move back, and we'll get back to Han Solo afterwards. But so we do have the Rocky's fighting on Christmas for no money in Russia award for plot hole or dumb decision. I kind of have one thing-ish that all my thoughts might fit into this, but do you want to go first?
One, I have two of them, maybe kind of three of them. I'll go first then. I guess because of honor or whatever, but the pregnant Na'vi water woman fighting didn't she was like really. She could have probably sat at home. There were people sitting at home, or probably a little bit more safer position. Can't believe that's Kate Winslet, by the way. That's absolutely.
I don't even think of her as Kate Winslet. It was listening to a podcast today that it reminded me that it was her. So to not even be that's an L for her to think that she's in this movie, but no one connects her with that character. I certainly don't. So
she's doing James Cameron a favor for Titanic. I don't know. You know what I mean? But she could have sat that one out, like you said. You know what I mean? Probably didn't have to be right on the front lines of all that stuff. But that's one for me.
And then also Neytiri has the baby afterwards, and she's rolling around into some pretty intense fighting with that baby, right there. I don't know. Someone check on that thing.
Yeah. That's like Fantastic Four. Or whatever, when the baby at the end of the movie was just flying all over the place. Yeah, exactly.
You love Fantastic Four.
Oh God. Yeah. So what do you got?
All right. So for me, it's just an overarching thing where it's they constantly are taking hostages and then breaking them out and then taking hostages and breaking them out. It's Horridge, dude. You have these people freaking kill somebody already, up the stakes for the movie, but it just seems there's let me guess, freaking Quaritch has Spider on the Rocks this time, and Quaritch has this person someplace, and they get out of it. That dude sucks at taking hostages, and I just would want someone to die. And I feel it would make it more meaningful. Kate Winslet's character, which I don't even know her name, isn't that for me. I just would have liked to see a little bit more stakes when it came to the hostage taking, and not have it be rinse and repeat 5 times throughout the movie.
So if I hear one more time Quaritch or whatever, the colonel guy, go to a tribe, hold all that tribe, and be I want Jake Sully. I want Jake Sully. It's all he does throughout the and he's great character, but how many times has he done that? You know what I mean? It's the same. It is the same exact move for two straight movies. You know what I mean?
It's you suck at what you're doing. You're a shitty colonel.
But even our people too, Neytiri, how many times did she have the fire woman? She could have killed her in that tent in a second. You know what I mean? And just they don't pull the trigger. You know what I mean? So I'm with you there.
So that's really my only thing for that. What's your other one?
What the hell was that metallic, the vortex thing at the end? What was that?
It seems
what that is.
A Pandoran natural storm kind of scenario. That's we have hurricanes. They have magnetic storms that freaking raise anything that's metal up in the air into who knows where, into space or something. I don't know. And I felt I maybe missed something at some point. I don't know if I went to the bathroom and I didn't see an explanation of what that was. Did they get into that too much?
I don't. That's what I'm asking. Literally, yeah. I don't. It just there. I think they mentioned it one line. Don't get too close to it or whatever. But I didn't understand how. I didn't understand it. It came out of nowhere and seemed like a way to just have the final battle happen. But I just didn't understand what that was.
Yeah, dude. I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to move on to the Han Solo Award again for a second time? All right. Han Solo Award for scene stealing character. I have Varang. So I'm just going to jump right to it. I did think that she stole every scene. She was certainly not overutilized in the movie. If anything, probably the other way. Could have had a little bit more depth to her, learned a little bit more about her. She was a little one-dimensional. But when she was on screen, visually, she was very cool to look at. I loved the color of her skin, the red paint, the way she was. For me, she stole the scene whenever she was on the screen.
She was incredible. The way she moved, The way like
Yeah.
her eyes like got up and stuff like that, I thought she was awesome. So good in this.
Yeah.
So I
So is it the
I
same thing for you, or do you have someone else?
it does this is gonna ask you because I do have her on my list. Okay. Do you think does Neytiri count for this or no?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Be whoever you
She's
want. If you felt like she stole the show, then
she
that's
sold the
cool.
show. I thought she was incredible. Like from when her eye, like there was like when she was mourning and whatever, and she had like this look in her eyes that was just like you could tell she was sad and so pissed off. She just brings such a fire to the screen every time. Like her fighting, she's a loose cannon. She's a badass. She's angry. She's always willing to do stuff. To me, I think like her and Varang were by far the two best in
Yeah,
this one.
that's a great pick. I didn't consider her just for whatever reason. I do think of a scene stealer as someone that isn't like a main character, but I actually did think she was, although she's an original character, I think that she was on the screen less than someone like Jake. Like I think picking Jake
I
would
feel
be
like Jake and the Colonel were like the two main people,
yeah,
but obviously Terry's so important too.
yep,
But I just like when she got shot and then went back and then wanted to go back to fight. And then I talked about her like Rambo scene when she came back on to get to free Jake. She's just the best. She's the
yep,
best.
yep.
So
I like
that's
it.
what I
That's a
got.
good. That's a good alternative to my pick. Then moving on to the next one, then Adonis Creed Award character who deserves their own movie or spinoff. I'm gonna go again if you don't care.
Oh,
I'm actually gonna just pick Varang again and keep things simple. I think that more than just her, I guess, would be like the Ash Clan. I would be interested in a little bit more background of them. You heard the backstory about the volcano erupted and Awa didn't come to save them, and that's why they don't care about her or it, and just they just have a different view on things from a Navi point of view. Like it would be cool to see a little bit more background on them or some type of spinoff.
so how did you like when the Colonel took her back to the people and was with Edie Falco and like the remember that like when all
Yeah,
like she was like looking around and really proud and stuff like that. I thought that was a really cool scene.
yeah, they were kind of walking in like they were walking the red carpet at one point, and yeah, that whole thing was cool.
So interesting. So that's a great pick. I had my winner. I'll just go with my winner. So Selfridge, all right. You know who Selfridge is? You know who that character is?
No.
He's like the rich guy that's like funding the actor. He's definitely that guy actor or
Oh, the
whatever.
dude
Like
that showed
the
up in the
rich.
short. He was in the first one, but not the third
Yes,
one.
he was
I mean,
the
not the
first
second
one.
one. Yeah, his
I
dad's on the board.
yes, I would love an Avatar movie from Earth's perspective. What's going on Earth? Why are we doing this?
Mhm.
What like almost like an alien Earth like thing? Because
Yeah,
I'm watching that now. Like I would love to know what is going on. What is the news and the perspective of Pandora? Like how is that messaging being brought back to the people of Earth? And what are they doing? I think that would make such an awesome spinoff, either a
yeah.
TV show or movie. And that gets away from Pandora a little bit, but it would be such a cool perspective from the Avatar world.
There's some rumors out there that was like what the fifth movie would entail,
Oh,
which I'm
really?
all for, dude. And I never saw the extended version of the first movie. Honestly, didn't even know it was a thing, but just from watching some videos, I guess they do show a little bit of Earth. They show Sam Worthington's character in a wheelchair, like crossing the street with a bunch of people, and it looked like a very like cyberpunkish type background to what the city looked like behind him. But I guess the place sucks now. There's a reason they're looking to move all of the humans to Pandora. But yeah, I would love to see a little bit more of that stuff.
Because I was so fascinated when they're at the base and there were probably like 100 people there and they were all taking out what their equivalent of an iPhone was and taking pictures of
That's what I
Jake
was saying.
Sully. And
That was my favorite part of the movie, dude. I very
yeah,
felt again because it felt very different from everything we had seen in the first two Avatars and everything we saw before that or after that in this movie too. It was just different, and I actually like seeing the Avatars around humans, and you really get a sense for how like big they are. I thought that's very cool as well.
yeah. So I think that was just really cool. And what's the messaging about Jake Sully? You know what I mean? They're obviously like traitor to human race or whatever. You know what I mean? And like that sort of stuff. It's
Well,
fascinating.
if you were a human being, we're obviously
Of course.
meant to be on the side of Jake Sully and they're the protagonists of the movie and all that stuff. But if you were a human, you probably would be one of those people in the crowd, like cheering on the human side of things. It's just
Yeah.
kind of being an American. Like if America's in a war with someone, you're very much on the American side of things as opposed to whoever our enemy is. So it's just a funny thing.
So yeah, that would be my Adonis Creed Award winner. And I picked Selfridge, but more so the concept of Earth looking at Pandora.
Love it. Good stuff. I'm glad we get some different ones. All right. Next one, Jake Burton Award, MVP of the movie. I got a handful of things here.
I had a hard time with this one. I had a hard time.
Did you? Yeah, I think picking like a winner is hard, and I don't know that it's like a true winner, but there's definitely some people on my list. And I go back and forth between, is the MVP supposed to be the best performance, the most important character, who my favorite is for whatever reason? So I'm coming from a few different angles on it. Why don't I get started then? We'll just go.
I got an honorable mention and a winner, and I'm not like sold on it, so I'm anxious to hear what you think.
Here for me, just a couple people like on the important point of view, and I'll just guess combine these. Again, I don't think they stole the movie with their performances, or I even like these people, but I do think like Spider and Kiri are like two very important people in this movie and in this world. And so do I want to give them the MVP? No, but they are certainly important, just in the sense that like Spider can now breathe, he is a human, Kiri has a connection to Awa, and I guarantee that the future movies, if they ever happen, would be based on those two people. So they're honorable mentions for me.
So Spider's on my list. Spider's number 2 also on my list. So very good pick. I don't know how he definitely made out the best out of this movie. This was like his movie. Like it really was. Like this movie was about him. Like when they obviously kept going to the mask thing at the beginning with him running out of air, and then Carrie ended up. That was a cool scene. I thought when she was doing her thing and the things were going inside his mouth, and then he could breathe afterwards, and he became like such a fascinating part to humans. They call him air breather. Like, what does that mean? And then the literally last scene of the movie is them accepting him, the Na'vi people accepting him.
So like, he's an important character. Is he my favorite? No, but he's certainly like an important character. And what do you think the battery is on those masks?
That scared the shit out of me.
Like 24 hours of shit. People must be freaking dying all the time with those things.
Yeah, it's got to be something like 24 hours. It's not like 4 hours.
It should be like freaking a week. Are you kidding me? Or they must be like crates and crates of masks. Well, I guess he's the only one that needs it, I guess, with the Na'vi.
But you only had one backup. And what if he didn't have that backup everywhere? What if that thing, like, he's always fighting? Like, what if the thing cracked? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And it's not like the Na'vi are like the technology people. Like, what are they charging it with? What are they charging it with?
Rub like ointment on it or something like that. That's all they're
someplace that I don't know about that they plug that thing into.
Yeah, solar powered? I had no idea, but that's a good question. But yeah, so he was also the runner-up MVP.
Okay, so then I guess my other honorable mention, and now this is probably your winner, is Neytiri. For me, was just another honorable mention, just for the reasons that you said when she stole scenes. Like, she was freaking super important. She had a great arc throughout the movie, especially when it came to Spider. She was badass when she went and broke out Jake, or at least initiated the battle. She didn't necessarily break him out, but so she's an honorable mention for me.
She was not my winner. So because I got in the Han Solo award and like scene stealer, and I definitely make the argument. I could very much make the argument that she's my favorite. She's not though. I think my next thing's my favorite part of the movie. But yeah, she's not my winner.
I actually don't know who you're going to pick here, but hit me.
It's the Colonel Quidditch or whatever.
Same. Okay.
I think he was, and we didn't talk about him enough. And I think
because I'm ready to talk about it.
It's a good time. I think he's the funniest part of the movie. The only time I ever laughed in the movie was lines by him. I think his arc was really good. I thought at the beginning when they captured Jake and he wanted to go find his son, like it made sense. It's almost like him and Jake have this cat and mouse game. Once they catch him, they don't really want to kill him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He sucks at taking him hostage because he's had freaking plenty of opportunities to take care of him, and then all of a sudden loves Spider again. It's like Spider is the thing that throws him off. It's like, all right, dude. Yeah.
So it's like weird because it was like at times like I was rooting for him, which is terrible. Yeah. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a true bad guy to me. So I thought he won, and I think he's the way he talks, the way he carries himself. He's probably the most memorable part of the movie for me. So I think he was my MVP.
Same for me for all those reasons. Do you think he died at the end?
That's what I was going to ask you. There is no doubt in my mind that he's not dead. That, what's her name, Bang or whatever, swooped down, caught him, and they flew away, and they're safe. I will put my house on it. There's no doubt in my mind.
I agree with you. They were setting up for him to turn. I think Jake and him had at least 2 exchanges where he see the world and there's so much more out there, and you think maybe for a split second that it's getting to him. And I thought maybe he would have a Darth Vader moment at the end where he would and lead to saving Jake or Spider or something like that. Obviously, did not happen in this one, but that's
pretty much did,
definitely
though.
coming down the road. What?
It did though.
What?
He saved Spider.
Yeah, in a way. But,
Spider was falling and he jumped and got him.
but it's not like him and Jake were like. It's not like Darth Vader killing the Emperor type scenario level of saving the day. I do feel like he has a better turn because even then he just went back to. It's not like he was talking shit the whole time, and it's not like he had a true change of heart. And I feel like that's coming at some point eventually.
It's 1,000% going to happen. They're going to have a big bad somehow in 4 or 5 or whatever, and they're going to team up. I don't know how Neytiri will take that, but it will absolutely, something will happen for sure. But I think he had a couple of redeeming qualities. I think he really does care for Spider. And he was great, but there's no way in hell he died. There's no way.
Yeah, I agree. But dude, great character. I actually like the idea of them bringing him back as a Navi, considering how much he hated them the first time around. I really like that angle in the second episode, or the sequel, I should say. That's a cool way to bring him in. And he has his memories, and he's connected to Spider, but he's not, and he's one of the people that he loathes, and he's a cool character from my point of view.
They planted all the seeds, and you saw his progression throughout the whole movie. It's almost like he was wearing less and less clothing as the movie went on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to the end where the other general, or whatever, Edie Falco's character was like, "Look at you, you're a disgrace to the human race." You know what I mean? He was full like Ash person by that point.
Yeah.
So they were just like building it up, and I feel like he was hooking up with Varang, so you know, like he's definitely like a Navi now.
Yeah. All right, cool. I would never have thought we'd have the same person. What do you got?
Was James Cameron ever a consideration?
No. Pandora maybe was for a second, the world, because it continues to be freaking incredible to look at. It's not because I don't think he is, because I think you could even still make an argument. It just didn't cross my mind. I guess Pandora did, and I didn't even say it in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, that's that, yeah.
Okay, cool. So next thing, Shawshank Award. It's more of a question. Will this movie matter in 10 years? What are your thoughts?
I'm going to say no. Okay? I don't think this movie will matter. In 10 years, maybe there'll be 2 more out, because in 10 years this was to happen. And I think it's a good conversation to have out. Again, I loved it. I had a great time. The movie was a lot of fun. Awesome time. Out of the 3, this was my least favorite, I would say. You know what I mean? So I can't say... I thought Way of the Water was my favorite, because the story and the effects are really good. Avatar, when it first came out, was just such a cultural thing. And then this one, I feel like, was Way of the Water extended. So it just didn't, hit me the same way.
I don't think that this is that well received in 10 years from now. I do think it doesn't really matter. I think it'll be ultimately looked at as a failure, unfortunately, just because of the box office and just because of what we already said. Maybe some of the technology or some of the scenes, like those probably would be fondly remembered, but I think it doesn't live up to the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
So do you think that they make a 4 and 5? Because James Cameron, if you heard some of the things he said, he's certainly been laying some tracks for him to not make additional movies. And I've also heard him say that if he's not making them, no one else is either. It's like his little baby or whatever, and he doesn't want someone to relinquish control. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think, God, he's all in. I feel like there's more story there. I would be shocked. This is what I think. I don't think he does it. I think he maybe is a producer or helps oversee it. I think someone else takes it. Think of all the other successful franchises that have done this and maybe passed the baton a little bit.
I just have zero faith in that. Because it's like you get Star Wars and you get J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson and back to J.J. Abrams, and they've totally fucked that. You know what I mean? So it's...
But then you get guys like Tony Gilroy and stuff like that, which made it made Star Wars the best thing in the world with Andor. So it's
a TV show. You know what I mean? It's just different. I guess I don't have a lot of faith in Disney to appoint the right director. My hope is that James Cameron would still be an actual producer and still be involved, but I just think that it's too valuable of a property for them to not try to expand upon. And there's a million stories to tell, dude. A million stories. So it's definitely ripe for more. And honestly, maybe a new director is what they need to re-engage the general public. But so I guess I would say 60% chance that they make additional movies. But then when they do, I would be obviously they were going to make more. It's stupid to even think it wasn't 100%. But I do think if James Cameron is pinning future Avatar movies on the success of this movie, and I don't think it's going to be considered a success. So then, what does that mean? If he says they'll only make it if they make enough money, then this one doesn't make enough money, then what? But at the same time, it seems stupid to not make another one.
So we both agree this is not the end of the Avatar world. We will see more in the world. I think there's no question about that. I personally would like to see James Cameron do something else.
Yeah.
And we can talk about, is James Cameron the same level of Christopher Nolan, which we could talk about the Odyssey trailer and like that kind. I would love to see him do something else as his twilight of his career.
Yeah. I mean, if he did continue to make avatars, I'd be cool with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's obviously a pretty cool thing, and he obviously cares about it, is passionate. But yeah, of course he'd like to see him do other things too. I've heard him say that he wants to do something else in the Terminator universe, which could be interesting, but I feel like that property's doesn't have as much cachet as it used to. So I don't know, but he certainly makes freaking incredible movies that are fun to see. I do not think he's on the level of Christopher Nolan when it comes to good movies, but that's not a bad thing. James Cameron's freaking awesome.
Yeah, look, you talk like T2, Titanic 1. He's Academy Award winner too. You know what I mean? And this movie's incredible. It's like he's still got it. You know what I mean? There's no question about it. So yeah, we'll see.
So the rehash verdict is classic, cult favorite, or trash. And I actually think it's none of these things we were talking about earlier. It's certainly not a classic. I don't know that it'll be a cult favorite, but I don't think it's trash. It's just a great movie that I enjoyed going to see at the movie theater, and I would recommend anyone that's thinking about going to see it as well. It's definitely like an event type movie to go see. Yeah,
I completely agree. The only one that maybe is cult classic, but I don't think it's like a big cult movie. It's not a classic, and it's definitely not trash. But I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Cool. All right, trailers. I wonder if we saw the same things. We must have seen the same things. I saw what I think was considered the prologue to the Odyssey movie that's coming out, that Christopher Nolan is doing, that's coming out in July. Is that what you saw too? It was kind of like the Trojan horse scene?
I was ready to run through the screen. I thought that was incredible.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, I thought I was so great. I was shocked at what I was watching. I was like literally watching a 5-minute, like you said, scene, prologue, or whatever. It was so good. The costumes, how they looked. I am like, I cannot wait for this movie.
I liked how they did it too, where it was Bernthal just like going into a story. So, talking about, you may have heard the story and then digs into that, and then at the end, it just picked up where he was like in the middle of telling the story. So I'll be interested to see how that is when the movie actually comes out. But I thought it was a good scene to steal. Definitely something people have heard about in their life, the Trojan horse. Never really gave too much thought to how mechanically that could have worked. But if that's how it went, then I think it was great.
When the guy was stabbing the horse thing, to like see it, and it went into a guy, and they wiped the blood off the blade as he was pulling it up.
The guy was on top of it, dude. He freaking wiped the freaking blood right off that thing. They didn't even freaking have a clue that anyone was in there.
It was, and then I was on the edge of my seat with them opening the gate. Obviously, knew they were going to do it. And who the hell was that guy with the big helmet and the big thing that was walking in the mountain? What was that? Guy was huge.
Dude, I honestly don't know. And I bet you people that know the Odyssey better than us know exactly who that is. They obviously do. But yeah, I know nothing of that story, dude. I freaking really don't. So I'll be going into that movie blind-ish, and I can't wait. Can't wait for it.
I can't wait for that movie in July. So yeah, that.
Avengers. What I saw was a Chris Evans trailer. I guess there's a few other things. And dude, before you go, there's just so much negativity around it that I don't even know that I really have my own opinion on it, because if I didn't read or hear what people are saying about it, because everyone's just bitching about it and saying it's unfair to bring Chris Evans back. He had a great ending in Endgame. It's not fair to Sam Wilson, and they got to keep going back to these same old people. I would have probably said I really liked to see him back, and I'm fired up. But I feel like I'm supposed to not be excited for it because that's what everyone says.
No, that's good. That's a great opinion. For me, it just did nothing. Like I was a Cap guy. Big Captain America guy, it just didn't do. It was interesting just from a marketing perspective. I thought it was an interesting approach because it didn't. It's like, why did they do that when they have RDJ right there in like that announcement of Doom?
I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they have 4 trailers coming out in the next like 4 weeks.
Oh, do they? I don't know. Okay.
Like, I thought they had a Thor one coming out and a someone else one coming out, and I assume maybe Robert Downey Jr. at some point, but this was the first one. I could be wrong on that. But if that was the case, then maybe that addresses a little bit more of your concern. But
It's not like you're just like I just and maybe more am in the camp of he had such a good arc, such a good ending. Endgame was so incredible. I'm not like the Sam Wilson, good for him or whatever, but I guess I have faith in the Russo brothers and Cap's the man, but they did have such a good ending, so I don't know how they're gonna do it. But then again, how the hell are they gonna have Robert Downey Jr. play Doom? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of variables thrown up. So
I'm gonna try to stay positive about it because I do feel like there's just too much negativity around it, which bums me out. I like to like things as opposed to like to hate things. So I'm gonna go with the approach of it's gonna be freaking awesome until it's not. But yeah, dude, it's cool to see. We'll see if there's a few more in the next couple of weeks. I think
anything else?
No, that's it.
What about you watched the Chris Pratt one? Was they that one? The Chris Pratt? No.
Do they have one?
No, the trailer for Chris Pratt with he was like a judge with Rebecca Ferguson, 3D.
Oh, big Rebecca Ferguson guy too. I did not.
Rehashables Hall of Famer. No, okay, all right. It's interesting movie.
Yeah, we'll be doing her Rehashables Hall of Fame ceremony in the next few months.
Chris Pratt, he plays an FBI agent or whatever in this movie. And
this is a serious movie.
This is another serious like actiony movie that he's in. But Chris Pratt on Parks and Rec, one of his like alter egos was Burt Macklin, FBI, or whatever. So I couldn't help but think of this was like a Burt Macklin FBI.
That was not in my theater. Okay. So cool. I think they kept it pretty tight with the Odyssey and the Avengers thing.
Yeah, cool. We had like 17 trailers. So yeah.
Wherever you go, it sounds like you have to plan a half hour. I looked at
that on the ticket. It says the start time is not planned 25 to 30 minutes. And it was so funny. I actually went with Curtis last night as the Avatar movie. Yeah, Curtis came last night with the movie. Wow. As the Avatar movie was starting, like just about to start, about 30 people walked in. Like last minute, like that. So
So I looked at my watch when Avatar started. It was like 1:40 for a 1:30 showing. Yeah. So it's not. It's probably like nothing ever too crazy.
Yeah. Hey, awesome stuff.
All right, dude. Hey, that was a fun pod. Glad we both got a chance to check it out and get this out before Christmas. So we'll look forward to more Rehashables in the new year. I don't think we're doing anything else between now and then. So we'll figure out something.
Stranger Things. Right next.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, that's right. We actually have that on the books for the first week in January, so that'll be the next thing. Got a couple episodes coming out in 2 days, or a few episodes in 2 days, and the finale on New Year's Eve. So yeah, that'll be fun to talk about. So that's the next time you'll hear from us.
Yeah, and you talked about that being in the theater. I was wrong. People are buying tickets to go see it because there's about 25 showings at this movie theater, and you can't get many tickets. So people are showing up. So I'm anxious for it.
Love it, dude. All right, pal. Talk soon.
All right, bye.
See ya.